I noticed my heart rate is very low, which is concerning. Below 50 when you are not on medication anymore, amiodarone or metoprolol, which I'm not. Below 50 is definitely very strange. Yeah, look at those gaps in between. Alright, we've got the heart monitor on for 2 weeks. Let's see how we go. We've got the app to track symptoms, and as soon as we feel anything, dizziness, lightheadedness, heart racing, heart slowing, feel any of that, I have to press the button, and that logs a moment or an episode or a symptom or something, so that when they get the 2 weeks of data, they can zero in on those points to check and find out how the rhythms are at that moment, to kind of zero in and see if in fact the heart was doing anything funny around those times. So here in Chicago on the 42nd floor, you're about to walk on stage to tell my story, AI-powered patient story, give examples of the future of the patient experience and how I lived it. This one is a special update because literally this morning I got word of needing to install a pacemaker as soon as possible. I shouldn't even be here, so this one's extra special and extra urgent and timely. Let's do it. The heart monitor's off. I sent it in. Data comes back. My electrophysicist calls me. You're gonna need a pacemaker. I had over 3,200 episodes of second degree block, Morbitz 2 it's called. And it's very serious and could lead to stage 3 block, which can lead to cardiac arrest and death. So it's very serious. This is the scar from the first 2 open heart surgeries for valve repair. So I'm on my way to the hospital to have a pacemaker put in. I'm getting the Medtronic Micra leadless. There's no leads that go into the heart for risk of any further infection because I had staph infection and a debridement. So what this means is, it was scheduled for Friday, but my heart rate is downward trending. I had more than 3 dozen episodes of low heart rate in the 30s for 10 minutes or more at least in the last 24 hours. I'm feeling a little foggy, kind of lightheaded, just out of it a little bit, and reported the symptoms, and my cardiac team was like, yeah, go to the emergency room. They'll sort you out, monitor you, and we'll push you up in the schedule and we'll get the pacemaker in tomorrow. So this got serious very quickly and it's all moving too fast. I'm almost a year to the day from my first open heart surgery. 20 days later with my second one. And hopefully this is the very last chapter. So I've been admitted to the ICU, and tomorrow I will be having the pacemaker put in, but right before then I'm going to have a TEE, a transesophageal echocardiogram, where they put me to sleep, put a camera down the throat into the heart and take some high-def pictures and videos and readings, check on the site of the valves to make sure they are working well, there's no leakage, there's no obstruction, there's no growth, there's no anything there that could be potentially leading to this drastically low heart rate. It's 36, 37. The lowest it's been is 32. It's hovered in the 30s for the past 8 hours now, which is crazy. But I'm relatively asymptomatic. I've got these paddles strapped to my chest that are on the front of my chest and on the back, either side of my heart, so they can, they can shock me back to rhythm or back to life, God forbid, if there's any emergency, given the heart rate is so low. And I also have this emergency medicine right here in the room they can give me to boost the heart rate if need be. And then if they do the TEE tomorrow and they don't find anything and the valves and the heart looks good, they will proceed immediately while I'm under to give me the pacemaker, and I'll wake up with it. If they find something with the valves, which is unlikely, but they're going to check while I'm under, then they will not proceed with the pacemaker immediately. We'll reevaluate at that point. So basically, they think I'm a super athlete. It's saying 39 at the moment because I'm standing, but my heart rate has been between 30 and 35 for the last 18 hours around the clock. So they're coming in saying, "Are you a Tour de France cyclist?" I said, "No, well, I did triathlon like 10 years ago, and I've always been pretty active. I'm not in that kind of shape at the moment." Pacemaker to pace my heart for life. It's a tiny one. It goes in through the leg. It's not even the normal one that goes in under the collarbone with wires because of risk of infection. And I've had my history of infection, staph infection, that I've been treated for the past year. I'm optimistic things are going to be fine. This is nothing compared to the hell we went through with 2 open heart surgeries, almost a year to the day. In 2 days, it'll be my 1-year anniversary of the first surgery. So, hoping things get back to normal and we're out of here. Had the pacemaker put in, but instantly woke up and the 30 beats per minute is instantly 65 while resting, which was huge relief. Oh, I was so worried. I was on 30 beats per minute for so long, thousands of episodes of stage 2 heart block. Now I'm fully regulated. I got an image of what it looks like through the x-ray. It's pretty wild. It looks like and they showed me a quick demo of this thing too before they had it put in. It's like a tiny fishing lure, a squid jig with hooks on the bottom. It's really bizarre. So they first did the TEE and it came up clear. Valves are working great, no problems. And so they proceeded while I was under to insert it. And here we are. Very sore leg where they go in through the femoral vein, through the groin. So it's sore at the site and pushed it all the way into the heart. So there's no incision, there's no cut. I mean, it's through the vein, directly dropped into the bottom of the heart. Truly incredible. So I had the Medtronic people here that were calibrating my pacemaker with their device. They can communicate with it via Bluetooth. It's bizarre. And then I have a piece of equipment here, I'll show you, that I need to attach, literally rest on the outside of my chest, and through RF radio frequency, it downloads the data. And then I put this inside the base station, which communicates cellular and sends the data directly to the care team. Wild. Okay, so I'm home. I've recovered from the pacemaker insertion. Pretty amazing process, really. A lot of bruising, black and blue bruising around the inside of the groin where they go in through the vein, but they take the stitches out. It's a minor incision and you're good to go. No incision here, no wires. Okay, so I want to show you the pacemaker information and equipment. So here it is. This is the unit. This is the base unit by Medtronic. You actually remove this paddle here, they call it, and you hover this, see it's 4G enabled and cellular base, and you take this paddle and you hover it over the heart until you see the match indicator here on the screen, and it shows you that you've made the connection, and it will download the data. It will download it from the paddle. It'll download it from your pacemaker to the paddle, which is incredible. And then you touch it here in the base station, and then that base station is cellular enabled. That uploads the data to your care team. Truly impressive. Let's have a go, see if it works. All right, so I'm gonna take the base station off. I have to press the button, there we go. Okay, now it's showing me to hover it over the heart through the screen there. So I'm hovering it over, and I'm trying to, okay, it's got the connection. So that means I gotta hold it there. Okay, there we go, hold it there. See, it got a green light. So I'm holding it and it's gonna upload the data. It's truly incredible. I'm being called the Bionic Man. but I wanted to give you a first-hand insight into how easy it is. There we go. Now, once that's finished, okay, look, it's telling me to now put it back in the base station, which I will. And now, see, it is uploading to the doctor's dashboard. As simple as that. So that took literally less than a minute to find the sweet spot. Then it uploads. So I wanted to give you insight into any folks that are facing a pacemaker, or that is done. Amazing. And generally, I think it's supposed to be between 2 to 3 months worth of data when you upload it. I don't know about that. I just got mine days ago, and I'm heading to my electrophysicist this morning for my first check-in. So I wanted to make sure he has the latest data uploaded. But that's it. That's the process. And funny thing is, you need to check MRI and CT scan to make sure you're able to go under the machine with the pacemaker. Otherwise, there's virtually no restrictions. Can't get close to a microwave, can't get close to a router, internet device. They'll say within 15 centimeters, like 5 inches. So mine's relatively close to my bedside, so I've got to make sense of that, make sure it's not too close. But that's what we're dealing with. And as far as I feel, I'm no longer lightheaded when I bend down or stand up. I'm no longer having these kind of foggy memories. I'm just feeling great in the mornings now. My heart rate was as low as 30, as you remember from the previous insights. And now it's at 70. And so I'm not walking too much. I'm letting the groin heal. It's quite sore, but I can't wait to get back to regular exercise and really go hard with cardiac workouts to make sure that the pacemaker is responding well. But so far, so good. Okay, so for folks that have the Apple Watch, the heart rate reading is still perfect. It works great. If you have a pacemaker, it'll still show you what the reading is. It works normally. Mine should be around the 70s. There we go, 76. I'm up and active, walking around my kitchen, no problem. But here's the crazy thing. The ECG reading, for those that know, you can press this button, you can hold your finger over the crown, and you can take an ECG reading, okay? So I'll show you that now. When you get a pacemaker, we found out pretty quick. I was so excited to run one of these with my fresh new paced heart, and the ECG is inverted. It is upside down. So pacemakers interrupt the Apple Watch, or rather the Apple Watch can't interpret the electrical signals from the pacemaker, and it screws up the ECG readings, and all the peaks and troughs of the heartbeat are inverted. So every reading from now on is inconclusive. So the ECG function on my Apple Watch is now useless because I'm going to have this pacemaker for life, and it can't read the beats properly. So they're inverted. So funny. I showed my wife. She's like, holy shit, let's get the nurse. So we called the nurse. Was there something wrong with my pacemaker? The Apple Watch isn't picking up the ECG. And so we researched it, and it's a known thing. It cannot read proper EKG functions when you have a pacemaker. So I tweeted at Apple yesterday, long shot. I said, hey, Apple, can we put a pacemaker feature on the Apple Watch for those that have a pacemaker so they don't get freaked out when their ECG readings are inverted? Anyway, who cares? So I found out that when you do the data download by holding the paddle over the heart and then placing it in the base station, you get a phone call pretty quickly afterwards from the live monitoring company. I hadn't yet had my onboarding call with them to talk through the process of the data download. But they're like, hey, John, looks like you've figured it out already. And I said, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cause a panic. I didn't realize the upload kind of out of sync from the generally scheduled once every 3 month upload. Triggers somewhat of an emergency response in some ways. So I'm only doing it now at the 3 month mark, which I now know is the check-in point. Otherwise, unless you have symptoms, that's the time of which you do an upload, and then that triggers a phone call pretty quick. But I'm pretty happy to say that as an AI tech guy, I finally have algorithms working literally inside my body. Who would have thought? You couldn't have written that script. But that's an insight into the pacemaker process, from diagnosis all the way to having it installed, testing it. Hope it was helpful, and wish me luck that I can ride roller coasters and do everything per normal, which I've read you totally can. Thanks, guys.